You might feel fine today, but could your body be warning you about something serious? Many seniors ignore these 7 symptoms, thinking they're just part of aging. But some of them are red flags that time is running out. Don't wait until it's too late. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which symptoms to watch for and what they could mean for your life and health. Welcome to Thrive Senior Advice, your trusted source for living well, staying safe, and thriving after 50. If you're focused on protecting your health or looking out for someone you care about, you're in the right place. Be sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss advice that could make a real difference. In today's video, we're uncovering 7 symptoms many seniors ignore, often because they seem minor or just part of getting older. But ignoring these signs can be dangerous. One in particular, #5, is something almost everyone overlooks. Yet it could be the first warning of a much more serious issue. Stick with me, because understanding these symptoms could literally save your life or someone else's. Symptom 1. Sudden or unexplained weight loss. Let's talk about something that might not seem alarming yet. First, losing weight without trying. For many people, that sounds like a dream. Maybe you step on the scale one day and notice you're 5, 10, even 15 pounds lighter than usual. You didn't go on a diet, you haven't been exercising more, and yet the weight just seems to be melting off. It might feel like a pleasant surprise. But here's the truth. When you're over 60, unexplained weight loss is rarely a gift. It's often a warning sign. As we age, our metabolism slows, and our bodies naturally change. But losing more than 5% of your body weight over 6 to 12 months without trying should never be ignored. That kind of weight loss isn't typical, and it could be your body's way of telling you that something more serious is going on beneath the surface. Why is this a red flag? Because sudden or unexplained weight loss can be linked to a number of serious health conditions, some of which can be life-threatening if caught too late. One of the most concerning possibilities is cancer. In fact, unexplained weight loss is one of the first symptoms doctors look for when screening for cancers, like pancreatic, stomach, lung, or colon cancer. It's not always the first thing you think of, but in many cases, it's the earliest sign the body gives when something's wrong. Cancer often causes your body to burn more energy, and it can affect how your body processes nutrients, even if you're eating the same as always. Another possibility? Thyroid disorders. An overactive thyroid or hyperthyroidism speeds up your metabolism. That might mean weight loss, a racing heart, anxiety, or trouble sleeping. These symptoms can sneak up on you and easily be dismissed as stress or aging. But when paired with unexpected weight loss, they become a loud message from your body that it's time to get checked. And let's not forget about malnutrition or digestive issues. Conditions like celiac disease, Crohn's disease, or even chronic infections can interfere with how your body absorbs nutrients. The result? You may be eating enough, but your body isn't holding on to the fuel it needs. Over time, this leads to visible weight loss and declining strength. Sometimes the cause is simpler, but still serious. Depression, anxiety, or grief can cause appetite changes, especially in seniors. If you've recently lost a loved one or gone through a major life transition, and you've noticed weight dropping off, don't chalk it up to coincidence. Emotional health and physical health are deeply connected. If your emotional well-being has taken a hit, your body might be showing it. So, what should you do if you, or someone you care about, starts losing weight without a clear reason? Talk to a doctor, and do it sooner rather than later. A simple checkup, along with a few basic blood tests or scans, could uncover a treatable condition before it becomes something more serious. It's always better to be safe than sorry, especially when your health and your time might be on the line. It's also important to take stock of other subtle symptoms that might be accompanying the weight loss. Are you feeling more tired than usual? Do you have a persistent cough, digestive trouble, or just a sense that something feels off? Even if these things seem small, they matter. Now, let me ask you something personal. Have you, or someone close to you, experienced unexpected weight loss in the past year? Maybe you brushed it off, or maybe you were told it was normal. But deep down, did something feel off? If this has happened to you, I want to hear about it. Drop a comment below and type weight loss. Sharing your experience could help someone else recognize what they're going through and encourage them to take action. And remember, this isn't about fear, it's about awareness. The more you know, the more power you have to protect your health and live fully at any age. Because every moment matters. Don't ignore the signs. 2. Chest discomfort or pressure, even mild. Here's a symptom that far too many seniors ignore, sometimes until it's too late. It's not a sharp pain. It's not dramatic. In fact, it might feel like something as simple as indigestion, tightness, or just being a little out of breath. But mild chest discomfort, especially if it keeps coming back, can be one of the most important warning signs your heart is trying to send. Most people think a heart attack looks like it does in the movies: sudden, crushing pain and immediate collapse. But for many older adults, especially women, the signs are much more subtle. You might feel a little pressure in your chest, a strange squeezing sensation, maybe a dull ache in your shoulder, arm, or even your jaw. And instead of panicking, you might think, "It's just something I ate," or "I probably just need to sit down for a minute." That's the danger, because while you're brushing it off as something minor, your body might be experiencing a silent heart attack or showing early signs of coronary artery disease, a condition where the blood vessels that feed your heart start to narrow or become blocked. Did you know that heart disease is the leading cause of death for both men and women over 65? And yet, it often doesn't present in the way we expect. For women especially, symptoms are less likely to include intense chest pain. Instead, they often experience fatigue, nausea, cold sweats, or lightheadedness, all of which can be easily misinterpreted as stress or a stomach bug. Here's something important to understand. Any new or unusual chest sensation should never be ignored. That includes mild pressure or tightness, a burning sensation that feels like heartburn, discomfort that spreads to your back, neck, jaw, or arms, feeling short of breath while doing activities that used to feel easy, a sudden sense of anxiety or doom with no clear cause. These are all symptoms that could be linked to your heart, not just your stomach or stress levels. Let's take a moment and make it real. Think back. Have you ever felt that tightness in your chest when you were walking up stairs or carrying groceries? Did it go away when you rested? That's called angina, and it can be a sign that your heart isn't getting enough oxygen. It's your heart's version of a warning. Light on a dashboard, blink and you'll miss it, but ignore it and it could lead to something catastrophic. Now, don't panic every time you feel a little discomfort. Not all chest pain is heart-related, but any recurring or unusual sensation in your chest deserves a closer look, especially if it's new for you, or if it shows up during physical activity or emotional stress. And if you've already been diagnosed with high blood pressure, diabetes, or high cholesterol, your risk is even higher. These conditions quietly damage the arteries over time, increasing the chances of heart-related symptoms appearing later in life. So what should you do? First, start tracking your symptoms. Write down when they happen, how they feel, how long they last, and what you were doing when they started. That information can help your doctor make an accurate diagnosis. Second, don't hesitate to speak up. Too many seniors avoid telling their doctors about mild symptoms because they don't want to be a bother. But this isn't just about discomfort, it's about prevention and possibly saving your own life. And if something ever feels sudden or overwhelming, don't wait. Call emergency services immediately. Minutes matter when it comes to your heart. Let me ask you this. Have you ever felt strange chest sensations that you brushed off? Maybe it felt like gas or tightness or something you couldn't quite describe. Type chest pressure in the comments if that's something you or a loved one has experienced. Your story might encourage someone else to take their symptoms seriously. And don't forget, just because it's mild doesn't mean it's harmless. Heart symptoms in seniors can whisper before they shout. Listen to them. The next symptom is one many people think is just part of getting older, but it's not. And ignoring it could lead to one of the most feared diagnoses in senior health. Let's keep going. 3. Memory changes that disrupt daily life. Let's face it, forgetfulness happens to all of us. You misplace your glasses. You walk into a room and can't remember why. You forget someone's name for a moment. That's normal. That's life. But what's not normal is when memory issues start interfering with your daily routine. When they go beyond simple forgetfulness and start impacting your safety, independence, or relationships, that's when it's time to pay closer attention. So what exactly separates normal aging from something more serious, like early dementia or Alzheimer's disease? Here's a simple example. It's one thing to forget where you left your keys. It's another thing entirely to forget what your keys are for. That difference may seem small, but it's a powerful warning sign. Alzheimer's and other forms of dementia don't just cause you to forget information. They affect how you process, understand, and use information in everyday life. Memory changes that disrupt daily life might look like struggling to follow a familiar recipe you've made for years, getting lost in a neighborhood you've lived in for decades, repeating the same story or question within minutes, forgetting appointments, bills, or medications consistently, losing track of time or even where you are. These aren't just little slip-ups. They're red flags, signals that your brain might be undergoing changes that need professional attention. And it's not just about memory. Early signs of cognitive decline often include difficulty with planning or problem solving, trouble with language, like forgetting common words or calling things by the wrong name, changes in mood or personality, becoming more withdrawn, irritable, or confused. Now here's something many people don't realize. Catching these signs early can make a real difference. While there's no cure for Alzheimer's yet, early detection opens up options. It allows you and your loved ones to make important decisions while you're still able. Get started on treatments that may slow progression, and tap into support resources that make life easier and safer. It also helps rule out other possible causes. That's right, not all memory loss means dementia. Sometimes, memory issues are linked to vitamin B12 deficiency, thyroid problems, depression or anxiety, medication side effects. Each of these can cause confusion, forgetfulness, or foggy thinking, but they're often treatable. That's why it's so important not to self-diagnose or delay seeking help. A qualified doctor can perform simple tests to determine what's going on and what to do next. I know this topic hits close to home for a lot of us. Maybe you've noticed changes in your own memory that worry you. Maybe you're watching a spouse or close friend struggle with things that used to come easily. It's hard, it's emotional, and it's easy to be in denial, thinking it's just a phase or I'm just getting older. But here's the truth. Aging doesn't have to mean losing yourself. If you're noticing signs that your memory or someone else's is starting to interfere with day-to-day life, don't stay silent. Talk to your doctor. Share your concerns with your family. You're not being dramatic. You're being proactive, and that could make all the difference. Let me ask you this. Has memory loss impacted you or someone you care about? Maybe it's something you've kept to yourself, or maybe it's a conversation you've been avoiding. Whatever the case, you're not alone. Type memory in the comments if this resonates with you. Let's start the conversation, because silence only makes it harder. And remember, the goal isn't to create fear, it's to raise awareness. With the right attention and action, you can maintain a good quality of life. Even when memory challenges arise, there's strength in knowing, and there's peace in preparing. We're just getting started. The next symptom is one you might notice while doing something as simple as walking to the mailbox. And it could be your heart or lungs crying out for help. Let's keep going. 4. Shortness of breath, doing simple things. Have you ever been walking to the mailbox, or maybe up a flight of stairs, and suddenly felt like you can't catch your breath? It's a feeling that many seniors experience at some point, and it's easy to write it off as just getting older. After all, doesn't everyone get winded sometimes as they age? While it's true that our stamina naturally declines over time, shortness of breath during simple, everyday activities should never be ignored. In fact, it could be a sign that your body is dealing with a more serious condition. When you're struggling to breathe after walking just a short distance, or feeling out of breath after minimal exertion, it's your body sending an urgent message. Something's wrong. This is a symptom you need to pay attention to. Shortness of breath can be linked to several serious health issues, including heart failure, chronic lung disease like COPD or emphysema, anemia, pulmonary embolism, a blood clot in the lungs, pneumonia, or other infections. Let's break that down a little more. One of the most common culprits of shortness of breath in older adults is heart failure. This doesn't mean your heart has completely stopped working. Instead, it's a condition where your heart isn't able to pump blood as efficiently as it should. As a result, fluid builds up in your lungs, making it harder to breathe. In the early stages, you might notice that it's only after walking up a hill or carrying a heavy bag that you start to feel winded, but eventually, even simple activities like getting dressed or eating, might leave you feeling breathless. Another possibility is chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, which includes conditions like emphysema and chronic bronchitis. People with COPD often find that they're easily short of breath, especially when doing things like walking, bending over, or even talking. This condition can make it feel like you're not getting enough air, and over time, it can become progressively worse. The good news? If caught early, treatments like medication, breathing exercises, and lifestyle changes can help manage symptoms and improve your quality of life. Anemia, which is a shortage of red blood cells that carry oxygen, is another possible cause. If your body doesn't have enough healthy blood cells, you might feel weak, dizzy, and short of breath, especially during physical activity. Anemia can be caused by a number of things, including nutritional deficiencies like low iron, chronic diseases, or even certain medications. In some cases, it's as simple as needing more vitamins or iron, but it's important to get checked so you don't miss anything more serious. And then there's pulmonary embolism, which is a blood clot in the lungs. Though rare, it's a serious condition that can cause sudden shortness of breath, along with chest pain or coughing. If this happens, it requires immediate medical attention because it can be life-threatening. Let's get real for a second. No one wants to feel out of breath. It can make you feel weak, frustrated, and discouraged. And if you've been feeling winded for a while, you might start thinking it's just a part of aging. But remember, if shortness of breath is happening frequently, or if it's getting worse over time, it's important to listen to your body and seek medical advice. So what should you do? First, talk to your doctor if you're noticing any changes in your breathing patterns, especially if it's affecting your ability to do daily activities. Your doctor can help determine the cause, whether it's heart-related, lung-related, or something else, and offer treatments or lifestyle changes to help you manage it. And if you ever find yourself suddenly unable to catch your breath, especially if it's accompanied by chest pain, dizziness, or swelling in your legs, seek emergency medical attention immediately. Those could be signs of a serious heart or lung condition that requires quick intervention. Now, think about it. Have you or a loved one ever experienced shortness of breath during regular, everyday tasks? Maybe you brushed it off as just getting older, or you told yourself it would pass. But deep down, did you wonder if it was something more? Type breathless in the comments if this is something you've noticed, or if you're concerned about your own breathing. Sharing your experience might help others who feel the same way but aren't sure whether they should be concerned. Here's the thing. It's never too early to take charge of your health. If you're feeling winded or struggling to breathe, don't ignore it. The sooner you seek help, the better you'll feel in the long run. Your body is sending you a signal. It's time to listen. And coming up next is a symptom that's so common. Doctors hear it every day, but it's often missed by many seniors. Don't go anywhere, because it could be something you need to know right now. 5. Constant fatigue. We all get tired from time to time. Maybe you didn't sleep well, had a busy day, or just feel a little off. That's normal. But constant fatigue, the kind that lingers for days, weeks, or even months, is something entirely different. It's not about needing a nap or resting your eyes for a bit. It's about waking up after a full night's sleep and still feeling like you've been hit by a truck. If that sounds familiar, it's time to stop brushing it off. Because here's the truth. Chronic fatigue is not just a part of aging. It's a warning sign, and it could point to something much more serious going on inside your body. Fatigue that doesn't go away can be caused by a range of underlying health issues, many of which are common among seniors and require medical attention. Let's break down a few of the most serious possibilities. Heart disease. When your heart isn't pumping blood efficiently, your muscles and brain don't get the oxygen they need. As a result, you may feel constantly tired, even if you haven't done much physically. This kind of fatigue often gets dismissed because it builds slowly over time. You might think, I'm just slowing down, when really your heart is struggling to keep up. Diabetes. Fatigue is one of the earliest and most persistent symptoms of type 2 diabetes. When your blood sugar levels are out of balance, your body can't use energy properly. You might also feel thirsty, hungry, or notice changes in your weight, but it's that dragging, all-day tiredness that often shows up first. Sleep apnea. Do you snore or wake up gasping during the night? You might have sleep apnea, a condition that interrupts your breathing while you sleep, often without you realizing it. Even if you're in bed for 8 hours, Sleep apnea prevents your body from reaching the deep, restful stages of sleep that help you feel restored. It's more common than you think, especially in older adults. And it's a major cause of chronic fatigue, cancer, or chronic illness. In some cases, persistent fatigue can be an early sign of cancer, especially if it comes with unexplained weight loss, changes in appetite, or other vague symptoms. Conditions like kidney disease, liver problems, or autoimmune disorders can also drain your energy slowly but steadily. Your body is fighting something, and it's using every ounce of energy to do it. So, how do you know when tired is too tired? Pay attention to these clues. You're sleeping well, but still feel exhausted every day. Daily tasks, like cooking, cleaning, or walking, feel overwhelming. You've lost interest in activities you used to enjoy. You feel mentally foggy or emotionally low, even when life is otherwise calm. This isn't just about physical tiredness. Fatigue affects your mood, memory, motivation, and overall well-being. And when ignored, it can spiral into depression or isolation, especially if you're telling yourself that this is just how life feels after 60 or 70. It's not. Here's what you need to know. You deserve to feel good. You deserve to have energy, purpose, and enjoyment in your life. If fatigue is stealing that from you, then it's time to ask why and to demand answers. Start by talking to your doctor. A few simple tests can rule out or identify the most common causes of fatigue. Sometimes it's a matter of adjusting medication, improving your sleep habits, or changing your diet. Other times, it's uncovering a condition that needs treatment, but catching it early can change everything. And if your fatigue is tied to mental health, you're not alone there either. Depression, grief, and anxiety can weigh you down physically. Emotional pain often shows up in the body. So if you've been going through a tough time, give yourself the grace to seek support. There's strength in asking for help. Let me ask you this. Have you been feeling drained lately? Even when there's no obvious reason? Have you started avoiding things you used to enjoy because you just don't have the energy? If so, comment energy below. Your story might inspire someone else to take a closer look at how they're feeling too. Remember, fatigue isn't laziness. It isn't weakness. It's a signal. And when you start listening to those signals, you open the door to healing, clarity, and energy you might not have felt in years. The next symptom is one of the most commonly reported by seniors. So common that it often gets ignored by everyone, even doctors. But it could be the clue to something your body is trying desperately to fix. Keep watching. 6. Numbness or tingling in arms or legs. Have you ever felt a strange tingling in your hands? Or a numbness in your feet that doesn't go away? Maybe it starts as a pins and needles feeling, like your limb fell asleep, but then it sticks around. It might seem harmless at first, but here's the truth. Numbness and tingling aren't just uncomfortable, they're warning signs. And in seniors, they can point to some very serious conditions. Let's start with the most urgent possibility, stroke. One of the classic early signs of a stroke is sudden numbness or weakness, especially on one side of the body. If you feel this in your face, arm, or leg, and it comes on quickly, don't wait. A stroke can happen silently and progress fast. Time is critical. The faster you get help, the more likely you are to recover with fewer long-term effects. But even if the numbness builds slowly or feels mild, it shouldn't be ignored. Nerve damage, also known as neuropathy, is another major cause of numbness and tingling, particularly in the hands and feet. This is extremely common in people with diabetes, where high blood sugar slowly damages the nerves over time. The first signs are often a burning or tingling sensation that worsens at night, followed by numbness or even sharp pain. The danger? When you lose feeling in your feet, you might not notice injuries, sores, or infections. And for seniors, especially those with circulation problems, this can lead to serious complications, even amputations in severe cases. That's why catching and treating nerve damage early is so important. Another cause? Poor circulation. If blood isn't flowing properly to your limbs, your nerves and muscles don't get the oxygen they need. Over time, this can lead to coldness, cramping, and, yes, numbness. Conditions like peripheral artery disease, PAD, or even heart issues can reduce blood flow to your extremities and make walking or standing difficult. And in some cases, numbness is a sign of a compressed nerve, such as in your neck or spine. This is often caused by arthritis, bone spurs, or spinal disc problems. If left untreated, this pressure can lead to weakness or even permanent nerve damage. So here's the bottom line. Numbness or tingling is your body's way of saying something's not right. It's not just a minor annoyance. It's a symptom that your nerves, blood flow, or brain could be under stress. And I know what some of you may be thinking. It's just a little tingling and it goes away. But if it happens regularly, lasts more than a few minutes, or is accompanied by weakness, trouble walking, or slurred speech, you need to act. Getting a proper diagnosis is key. A doctor can run tests to check your circulation, nerve function, and brain activity. Sometimes the fix is simple: adjusting medication, improving blood sugar control, or starting physical therapy. Other times, it might mean taking action fast to prevent a bigger issue. So let me ask, have you ever experienced unexplained numbness or tingling? Have you shrugged it off, hoping it would disappear on its own? You're not alone. These symptoms are common, but that doesn't make them normal. Type "numb" in the comments if you've dealt with this, or are worried about it happening again. Let's help each other become more aware and take better care of ourselves. Because remember, numbness is your nerves crying for help. Don't wait until the warning becomes something permanent. Now, get ready. Symptom number 7 is the most silent and the most dangerous. It's one that rarely causes pain, but can take years off your life. If you miss it, stay with me. 7. Changes in bowel habits, constipation, blood, or shape changes. Let's be honest, talking about bowel habits can feel awkward. It's something many of us avoid discussing, even though it's one of the most important indicators of your health. But here's the hard truth. Changes in your bowel habits, whether it's persistent constipation, blood in your stool, or even changes in the shape of your stool, could signal something far more serious than just aging. In fact, these symptoms can be an early warning sign of colorectal cancer or other gastrointestinal diseases, which are more common as we get older. But the earlier you catch it, the better your chances of treatment and recovery. That's why it's crucial to pay attention to your body's signals and not brush them off as just part of getting older. Let's break down why each of these changes matters. Persistent constipation. If you're having trouble going to the bathroom regularly, or your bowel movements have become much harder to pass, it's time to take note. While occasional constipation is common, chronic constipation that lasts for weeks or months may be a sign of a digestive issue, including colorectal cancer. In many cases, a blockage in the colon can cause you to feel like you can't empty your bowels properly, even though you're trying. If this has become your new normal, don't wait for it to just get better. Blood in your stool. Seeing blood in your stool is one of the most obvious and alarming signs that something is wrong inside your digestive system. Blood can appear as red streaks on the toilet paper, in the toilet water, or it may be mixed into your stool. While hemorrhoids can sometimes cause this, blood can also indicate colorectal cancer or GI bleeding from ulcers or polyps. Even small amounts of blood should never be ignored. If you notice it, schedule a doctor's appointment immediately. Early detection of cancer significantly increases the chances of successful treatment. Changes in stool shape or size. Have you noticed that your stool has become narrower or pencil thin? This could be a sign of a blocked colon, which may be caused by a tumor or growth in the digestive tract. A tumor can squeeze the colon, restricting its passageway and affecting the shape and consistency of your stool. Any drastic change in stool size, shape, or consistency that lasts for more than a few days should be evaluated by a doctor. Unexplained weight loss or abdominal discomfort. If you've been experiencing significant weight loss, especially if it's unexplained or comes with abdominal pain or bloating, it may be related to an issue with your colon or digestive system. Colorectal cancer can cause these symptoms when it interferes with your body's ability to absorb nutrients, or when a tumor is growing in the colon, causing discomfort or changes in appetite. The most important thing to remember here is, don't ignore the signs. Too many people wait until symptoms are severe, and by that point, treatment options may be limited. If you notice any changes in your bowel habits that last more than a few days, it's time to talk to your doctor. It's uncomfortable, yes, but it's also life-saving. If you're unsure whether what you're experiencing is normal or a cause for concern, don't hesitate to reach out to a healthcare provider. They can guide you through the next steps and help you understand what's happening in your body. And if it's cancer or another serious condition, Catching it early can make a huge difference in treatment and outcomes. Remember, early detection is key, and your health is worth the conversation. Even if it feels a bit awkward, let's break the silence around these topics. If you're ready to speak openly about your health and take control, drop a health emoji or comment below. Together, we can support each other in taking the steps needed to live a longer, healthier life. Your body is trying to tell you something. Listen to it now. Don't wait for the warning signs to turn into something worse. Speak to your doctor today. Which of these surprised you the most? Let's talk in the comments below. If this could help even one person you care about, hit share. It might save a life. Subscribe to Thrive Senior Advice. 4 weekly tips that could protect your health and your happiness.